it's a real pleasure for me to be working with you and with your people. I thoroughly enjoyed being at your convention. I had a great time there. We got to know a number of your people and thoroughly enjoyed it. And so I put some ideas together tonight that I think some of your people will benefit from. Hopefully they will. And we want to talk about creating your own economy. You know, we hear so much about the economy and how bad it is worldwide, and there's certainly a lot of trouble. But, you know, if we go back in history, you can go back as far as you want, there's always been problems with the economy. But even in the worst of times, there were people winning. And we have to understand that we've got the power within us to really make things happen. Now, I was talking to a number of your people, and what I was most impressed with is they were really missionaries. They were out there and they wanted to get everybody to understand the benefits of essential oils. And oddly enough, it's something I'm just really getting my basic education in. But I'm becoming more and more impressed. Now, I was telling Gary the other day that I've started to read The One Gift, his book, and it's a phenomenal book. And of course, it takes you back and explains the oils way back in biblical times. But the people that I was talking to at the convention, they were really interested in the product, and they wanted everybody to understand the product. And so I got thinking about it. How do we get the whole world aware of the benefit of essential oils? And I was having a shower the other morning, and I thought, well, Gary Young has built the model, and there's a simple way of getting the world to know the benefits, and that's by expanding our business. You expand yours, I expand mine. And the more people you get involved in the business, the better you're going to do. And the beautiful truth about it is you can expand your business all over the globe, but it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. And I want you tonight to suggest that you really open your mind and listen very carefully, because there's some information here that has changed the lives of an awful lot of people. I have seen large multinationals like the Prudential of America. I watched their sales go up by hundreds of millions of dollars. Malaysia Airlines over on the other side. I see changes taking place. Now, I have worked with this for 45 years. I have experience of sharing this information that I've gathered in almost every environment you can think of, from prisons to schools to corporations to individuals. And we all have one thing in common. We are human. We're human beings. We're spiritual beings. And we are endowed with powers beyond the scope of our imagination. And I believe it's our responsibility to learn how to develop all that. And if that's going to happen, we must begin to think. Thinking is the highest function of which we're capable. And all down through history, every great leader that has ever lived has been complete unanimous agreement that we do become what we think about. They've disagreed on virtually everything else, but at one point they're in complete agreement. I spent 5 years working with Earl Nightingale in Chicago. I worked in an office right beside him. I was his vice president of sales. And I remember Earl one time saying, if most people said what they were thinking, they would be speechless. And at first I was sort of shocked, and I looked at him and I thought, is he serious? And then it struck me as being funny. But then he followed up by saying, listen to what they're saying. They would never say what they were saying if they're thinking. Watch what people do. They would never do what they're doing if they were thinking. And all of a sudden I thought, he is serious. There was a great speaker in those days, Dr. Ken McFarland from Kentucky. He was one of America's greatest speakers. He was under contract to General Motors. And he said 2% of the people think, 3% think they think, and he said 95% would rather die than think. Now, rather than treat that lightly, I want you to seriously think about what I'm saying. Because most people would never live the way they were living if they were thinking. The average person is stuck in a rut, and they don't have to be there. Back around 1970, Alvin Toffler came out with the book Future Shock. And in that book, he talked about a lot of the things that are going on today. It was a very popular book. Well, just recently he came out and he said the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who can